Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update from NFL News Now. Monday Night Football gave us one of those games that stick to your memory, the kind that stings for one fan base and energizes the other. The Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning juggernauts of the NFL, the dynasty in motion, stumbled in a shocking 31-28 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a game that felt like it slipped right through their fingers. You could see it in Patrick Mahomes' body language after the final whistle, frustration, disbelief, and that mix of fire and exhaustion that only comes after a brutal defeat. When reporters asked him what went wrong, his answer was simple, and it summed up the whole night. "Obviously sucks," Mahomes said, shaking his head. Two words that spoke louder than any post-game breakdown. This wasn't just a regular loss. This was the kind of defeat that makes you question rhythm, discipline, and focus, the things that have made the Chiefs a model of consistency over the last half-decade. 13 penalties. 13. For a team coached by Andy Reid, that number borders on shocking. Every time Kansas City seemed ready to get into a groove, a yellow flag on the turf yanked them back. Holding calls on the offensive line, pass interference on defense, false starts that killed momentum. It was a parade of mistakes. And when you combine that with Mahomes throwing an interception at a critical moment, you start to realize just how self-inflicted this loss really was. But here's the thing about Mahomes and the Chiefs. They never stop swinging. They've made a reputation out of being the comeback kings, the team that always finds a way. And for a brief moment, it looked like they were going to do it again. Down by 3 in the fourth quarter, Mahomes orchestrated one of those vintage drives that remind you why he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of his generation. 15 plays, 86 yards. Methodical, brilliant, electric. Every throw had purpose. Every decision was sharp. When the Chiefs punched it into the end zone to take a 28-24 lead, Arrowhead might as well have been shaking even though the game was in Jacksonville. That's how confident Kansas City fans have become in their team's ability to close. But the Jaguars weren't reading from that same script. Trevor Lawrence, who's been steadily growing into his role as Jacksonville's franchise quarterback, decided this was his moment to prove he could go toe-to-toe with the best. With just over 90 seconds left, Lawrence put together a drive that was pure composure. 13 plays, 52 yards, eating up the clock with precision and patience. The Chiefs' defense, usually so good when the pressure is highest, just couldn't get off the field. No big stop, no sack, no pass breakup to save the day. When the Jaguars crossed into the end zone to take the lead, you could almost feel the collective gasp of Kansas City fans across the country. Still, no one dared to count Mahomes out. 23 seconds left, no timeouts. We've seen him pull off miracles before. The fans at home leaned forward, eyes wide, waiting for one more moment of magic. But this time, it didn't come. A couple of completions weren't enough, and the clock hit 0 with the Chiefs stranded, out of time, out of chances. The camera caught Mahomes standing there, helmet off, eyes scanning the field like he was replaying every mistake in his head. "Obviously sucks," he said afterward. 2 words that carried the weight of 1,000 emotions. If you look deeper, that quote tells you a lot about who Mahomes is. He's not the kind of player who points fingers or throws teammates under the bus. When he says it sucks, he means it for everyone. Himself, the offense, the defense, the coaching staff. It was a team loss, plain and simple. And in that frustration, there's also a hint of accountability. Mahomes knows he's the heartbeat of this team. When they win, he gets the glory. When they lose, he shoulders the blame. That's what great leaders do. Andy Reid, meanwhile, has some soul-searching to do. The penalties were uncharacteristic. The play calling was inconsistent. The Chiefs' offense looked brilliant in stretches, but then sputtered at the worst possible times. You can tell there's still chemistry being figured out, especially with the offensive line and the receiving core. Rashee Rice flashed his potential, Travis Kelce had his moments, but outside of those two, Kansas City struggled to find rhythm in the passing game. It's almost as if they're still searching for that post-Tyreek Hill identity, even years after his departure. The pieces are there, but the precision isn't, not yet. Defensively, it was another puzzle. Steve Spagnuolo's unit has earned a reputation for coming through when it matters most. You think back to last season's playoff run, when the defense made clutch stops against Cincinnati and San Francisco. But on this night, when it mattered most, they just couldn't get that one big play. Missed tackles, soft coverage, and an inability to collapse the pocket on Lawrence during that final drive all combined into a frustrating finish. This wasn't the kind of Chiefs defense fans are used to seeing. The loss also raises a few uncomfortable questions. Are the Chiefs starting to lose that aura of invincibility? Every team hits rough patches, sure, but this one felt different, like cracks beginning to show in the armor. They've now had an inconsistent start to the season, alternating between moments of brilliance and stretches of sloppy football. Maybe it's just early season rust. Maybe it's something deeper. Either way, the timing couldn't be worse, with the Detroit Lions and their high-octane offense coming up next. That game against the Lions is going to be a statement opportunity. Detroit has been one of the league's rising powers, full of swagger and confidence. If the Chiefs want to reassert themselves as the NFL's top dogs, they'll have to do it against a team that's hungry, physical, and well-coached. And let's be real, Mahomes loves these kinds of challenges. He's built for the spotlight, for bouncing back when the world starts to doubt him. But even he knows it can't just be on him. The defense has to tighten up. The penalties have to stop. The focus has to return. You can't help but think about how this game might serve as a wake-up call. Championship teams aren't defined by their wins. They're defined by how they respond to losses like this. The Chiefs have been here before. They've been questioned, doubted, written off. And every time, they've found a way to rise again. Maybe that's what this moment is. Maybe, obviously sucks, is just the first chapter in another redemption arc. For the Jaguars, though, this was a coming-of-age victory. Beating Mahomes and the Chiefs in prime time is no small feat. It signals that Jacksonville isn't just a playoff contender. They're a team ready to crash the party at the top. Lawrence played with poise, the defense bent but didn't break, and Doug Peterson once again showed why he's one of the most underrated coaches in football. The Jaguars didn't just win a game, they announced themselves to the league. But make no mistake, this story is still about the Chiefs. Every dynasty faces turbulence. The Patriots had theirs. The 49ers did too. What separates the great from the good is how they handle it. Mahomes' frustration isn't just about losing one game. It's about knowing they're capable of so much more. He's the kind of competitor who turns every mistake into motivation. That's what makes him special, not just the arm talent, but the mentality. So yeah, obviously sucks. It's raw, it's honest, it's human. Coming from Mahomes, those words hit differently. They tell you everything you need to know about the standard he holds himself and his team to. And if history is any guide, nights like this don't define the Chiefs, they fuel them. Expect them to come out sharper, angrier, and more focused next week. Because if there's one thing we've learned about Patrick Mahomes, it's that pain doesn't break him. It builds him. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Hold on to your seats, football fans, because what's whispering through the halls of Arrowhead Stadium might just be the blockbuster news of the decade. A storm of speculation has hit the NFL world, and it's centered on none other than Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Yes, you heard that right. Mahomes and Hill, reunited in Kansas City, and the implications of this potential move are already sending shockwaves through the league. If true, this would not just be a signing. It would be a full-blown remake of the Chiefs' offensive dynasty, a throwback to the electrifying era that had defenses quaking week after week. The mere thought of it has fans, analysts, and rival teams buzzing with excitement, and, let's be honest, a little fear. We're talking about the dynamic duo who rewrote the rules of wide receiver-quarterback chemistry. Mahomes, the man with the no-look passes, the Houdini escapes, the arm that seems to defy physics, paired again with Hill, the speedster, the game-breaking terror, capable of turning a single touch into a highlight reel moment. The last time they were together, Chiefs fans witnessed magic every Sunday. And now, rumor has it, the magic could be back. The whispers started subtly, a casual mention here, a cryptic tweet there, but like all great NFL rumors, it didn't stay quiet for long. Sources, unnamed but considered reliable within the league, have suggested that talks are underway, that the chemistry that once made Kansas City a juggernaut could be reignited, and if it happens, it won't just impact the Chiefs. It'll send tremors through the entire league. Imagine Mahomes, once again connecting with Hill on deep posts, on slants, on those insane sideline catches that seem to defy both gravity and logic. Opposing defenses might as well start shaking in their cleats, Because if this reunion materializes, it's going to be a nightmare for coordinators trying to scheme against them. The timing is perfect too. The Chiefs are in a phase where they're looking to solidify a legacy, to keep the dynasty rolling, and Mahomes is at the peak of his powers. Hill, after a few seasons away, has only honed his skills further, becoming a more versatile and even more dangerous weapon. Their reunion would not be a step back. It would be an evolution, a supercharged iteration of the explosive offense that once had the entire league scrambling to keep up. And the social media chatter? Oh, it's unreal. Fans are already creating highlight compilations, nostalgic reels, and hypothetical scenarios that stretch from now until the start of the next season. Every Chiefs supporter is imagining the impossible. Mahomes dropping a pass to Hill 50 yards downfield, Hill weaving through defenders like a human pinball, and the stadium erupting in a crescendo of cheers that could probably be heard across Missouri. Analysts are weighing in too, some skeptical, some euphoric. If this happens, the Chiefs instantly become the favorites again, one analyst claimed on a popular sports network. You're talking about two players who have a connection so intuitive, it's almost like they share one brain. Mahomes sees the field differently when Hill is there, and Hill knows Mahomes is going to find him, even when it looks impossible. Of course, with all great rumors, there are always doubts. Hill's current team, his contract, the salary cap, it's a tangled web of logistics that the front office will have to navigate with precision. But insiders suggest that the Chiefs are ready to make bold moves, willing to take risks if it means reigniting that legendary connection. And the players themselves? Mahomes and Hill have both been remarkably tight-lipped, which, let's be honest, only fuels the fire. Every cryptic interview, every subtle social media post, is being dissected by fans looking for clues, reading into the tiniest gestures, like coaches reading the defense before a snap. There's a sense that everyone involved knows the potential magnitude of what could be happening. We're not just talking about a roster move. This is a statement, a bold declaration that the Chiefs intend to dominate the league for years to come. The comparisons to past dynasties are already flying. People are drawing parallels to the great quarterback-receiver tandems of history, but with Mahomes and Hill, the level of excitement is almost unprecedented. Their speed, precision, and almost psychic understanding of each other's tendencies is something rare, something that doesn't just happen. It's crafted through experience, trust, and an almost mystical sense of timing. And let's not forget the psychological aspect. Opponents will have to prepare not only for the plays, but for the sheer aura of their presence. Hill's speed alone can change the way a defense plays, forcing adjustments, creating openings, and Mahomes can exploit them like a master tactician. Together, they're more than the sum of their parts. And while we wait for confirmation, the rumor mill continues to churn, spinning stories, speculations, and hypothetical trade scenarios. Every day brings a new twist, a new angle, a new source claiming knowledge of the deal in progress. It's messy, it's thrilling, and it's the kind of chatter that keeps the NFL offseason almost as compelling as the regular season itself. Imagine the headlines if it happens. Chiefs reunite Mahomes and Hill. NFL braces for chaos. Sports bars across America would erupt, social media timelines would explode, and fantasy football leagues? They'd be simultaneously terrified and thrilled. Draft strategies would need to be rewritten, betting odds would swing wildly, and the entire narrative of the league could pivot around this single reunion. And let's not underestimate the cultural impact. Mahomes and Hill are not just athletes, they're icons. Their reunion could spark a surge of merchandise sales, stadium attendance, and global attention. The Chiefs' brand, already strong, would become a symbol of offensive excellence, a case study in how chemistry and talent can combine to create something truly spectacular. There's even a romanticism to it, isn't there? The idea of former teammates finding their way back to each other, reigniting a connection that brought so much joy to fans, is the stuff of storybooks. And the league thrives on stories like these, narratives that transcend stats, schedules, and standings, narratives that get fans emotionally invested. For now, though, we remain in the realm of rumor, of speculation, of hopeful whispers that might turn into reality. But even in the uncertainty, the excitement is palpable. Analysts, insiders, and fans alike are watching every move, reading every report, analyzing every detail for a sign that Mahomes and Hill will once again light up Arrowhead with their unparalleled synergy. If it happens, the NFL landscape as we know it could change overnight, reigniting debates about who the greatest offensive duo of this era truly is. Until then, all we can do is watch, wait, and imagine the possibilities, because the mere idea of Mahomes and Hill together again is enough to send chills down the spine of anyone who loves the game. The potential is limitless, the stakes are sky high, and the anticipation is unlike anything we've seen in years. So, keep your eyes peeled, because if this blockbuster reunion comes to fruition, we are about to witness one of the most electrifying chapters in NFL history, and you better believe, every single Sunday will be must-watch TV. Mahomes and Hill, together again, not just playing football, but redefining what football can be, one insane, gravity-defying, game-changing play at a time. The rumor has begun. The excitement has started. And if it's real, well, the NFL will never be the same again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.